Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Tina Arozena, and I am known as the Big Easy Homeschooling Mom on social media. Today, we will be exploring intentional homeschool freedom. I want to start by sharing that the information that I will be providing today is based on how I set up my own intentional homeschool. While this is the rhythm that has worked beautifully for my homeschool, please know that you have the absolute freedom to choose whatever method or style works best for you. Most of us started this journey seeking something different for our homeschoolers, but many of us end up bringing the schoolroom home, replicating a rigid box system that leaves everyone burnt out. We often trade the constraints of the system for a new set of constraints we have built ourselves out of fear or expectation. Today, we are going to break those boxes. We are moving from being proctors of curriculum to being architects of education. We are going to learn how to design a spirit-led rhythm that honors your homeschooler's unique calling rather than just forcing them through a predetermined checklist. This is not about changing your books or your curriculum. It is about changing your mindset. I love this quote by W.B. Yeats. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Too often we treat our homeschoolers like empty vessels that we need to cram with data points before they graduate. If we spend all of our time trying to fill the pail with facts just to check a box, we risk extinguishing the very curiosity God has placed within our homeschooler. When that fire is lit, the homeschooler becomes a self-directed learner who seeks out knowledge on their own. Intentional freedom is fanning those sparks into a flame that will burn long after high school years are over. What is intentional freedom? It is not chaos, it is stewardship. It is the transition from school at home to personalized mentorship. It is an eclectic approach where you pick the best tracks for your custom mixtape rather than listening to the entire album or CD that has songs you don't even like. You are not beholden to the publisher. You are beholden to the individual homeschooler God entrusted to you. This freedom allows you to say no to things that do not serve your family's homeschool mission so that you can say a resounding yes to the things that do. It is about being deliberate with your time and your homeschooler's potential. Now we're going to discuss the three pillars of our homeschool, or I should say my homeschool. The first one is traditional. These are the mental weights, structured foundation in math and grammar that build cognitive discipline. Second is interest-led. These are the rabbit holes, intentional space for deep dives into what your homeschooler loves and where the homeschooler takes the lead. Third, nature study or nature schooling is the living classroom where we connect the creator in the physical world. Together, these pillars create a balanced, robust education that is academically strong and personally engaging. They are not separate silos. They weave together to create a rich tapestry of learning that addresses the head, the heart, and the hands. This brings us to our daily anchor. Intentional freedom does not start with a checklist. It starts with a heart reset. In a world that demands constant production, we start with connection to God. In our homeschool, daily prayer is the anchor. We do not start opening the books or opening a website until we have aligned our hearts with God's purpose for the day. This is where we foster connection before demanding production, building a bridge between the homeschool parent and the homeschooler. If a morning is heavy or a lesson is frustrating, we have the freedom to stop and pray right then and there. We are teaching our homeschoolers that their spiritual health and their relationship with the homeschool parents are more important than their academic schedule. By centering our day here, we transform schoolwork into spirit-led rhythm of stewardship that bears fruit in their character. The intentional part of our freedom is the worldview filter. Faith is not a subject that we tack on as an afterthought. It is the lens through which we view everything from biology to business. When we study history, we talk about biblical justice and the providence of God. When we study chemistry, we talk about the order and immutability of God's laws. We want to train our homeschoolers to be transformed by their renewal of their minds, giving them the tools to discern truth from error. We want to know the truth behind the facts, teach them to filter every secular narrative through the lens of Scripture so they are not tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine. One of the greatest freedoms we have in homeschooling is customized pacing. In a traditional box, in the brick and mortar, you move on with your subjects when the calendar says so, regardless of whether the students actually understands the subjects that they were just taught. In an eclectic homeschool, you move on when the concept is mastered. If math takes 2 to 3 weeks longer, that is okay because you're building a solid foundation. If they fly through history in a month because they are obsessed, that is okay. Let them run with their interest. We prioritize deep understanding over the completion of a textbook or website page. This removes the race and replaces it with journey, where the goal is true knowledge rather than just a passing grade. We also believe the forest is a teacher. Nature study or nature schooling bridges the gaps between the book and the real world, turning abstract concepts into concrete reality. It fosters humility as homeschoolers observe the complexity of creation that man can never replicate. In the outdoor lab, we do not just look at plants, we look at natural theology. We ask, what does today's observation reveal about the character of God? Whether we are sketching a leaf or tracking the wind, we are recognizing that every square inch of the universe belongs to Him, and studying is a form of worship because we are in awe of His creation. Encourage your homeschooler to record what they find and connect it back to the Creator. I know that high school homeschooling feels scary, and the word unschooling makes people worry about college. But look at this table. Eclectic learning is transcript ready and highly professional. A rabbit hole into astrophysics becomes applied astronomy. A homeschool-led coding project becomes computer science and logic. By documenting the hours, which you can do in the workbook I have provided, you turn their God-given passions into professional college ready credits. You are not just making it up. You are professionalizing their passions and showing the world the depth of their self-directed study. When you achieve 100% personalized fit, the entire atmosphere of your homeschool changes. The power struggles decrease because the homeschooler sees the value in what they are learning, and it's based on their interest. You are not fighting the homeschooler to fit the mold. You are fixing the curriculum to fit the homeschooler. This creates a homeschooler who is self-motivated, highly engaged, and actually loves the process of learning because it feels relevant to who they are and who they are becoming. It builds a confidence that can only come from being seen and known in their own homeschool journey. So, how do you start? It begins with small pivots. First, anchor your day in prayer to set the spiritual temperature of your day. Second, observe your homeschooler's natural curiosities. They are clues to their future calling. Third, mix and match your resources. Be the curator, not the consumer. And fourth, breathe. Give yourself some grace and permission to pivot mid-year if something is not working. Freedom is found in the flexibility to change what is not serving your homeschooler's growth. I would also like to add that there are tons of free resources out there, so you do not have to spend money to homeschool. I literally, when I first started researching homeschooling, I gathered enough free resources to homeschool my daughter from middle school to high school. Also, all years included. So there are free resources out there. You do not have to spend money. Homeschooling is about making the whole world a classroom and the whole of life a lesson. You have the intentional freedom to design something beautiful, something lasting, and something that points your homeschooler to Christ. Thank you for taking the time and joining me today. I hope you feel empowered to go and reflect on your homeschool and start breaking those boxes. I would love to take a few questions or hear about what pillars you are excited to bring into your homeschool as you begin this journey of intentional freedom. Please always feel free to email me at bigeasyhomeschoolingmom2you@gmail.com. If you have any questions, concerns, I am always there to help you. A copy of this PowerPoint and my intentional homeschooling guide freebie link will be in the comments. So I look forward to hearing back about your homeschool journey, and I'd love to hear how you're going to change that to complete your child's homeschool journey.